Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Beatriz, and today I will show you AI chatbot, how we scale from a prototype we actually presented on the last Snowflake Summit to a scalable product in our Siemens Energy community. So my name is Ana Beatriz. I'm a digitalization expert between the business. So my role is to promote digitalization solutions between the business. And with me is Jonas Kelp. He's a product owner and specialist on AI chatbots in Snowflake and helped me make this crazy idea reality.
Thank you and welcome.
Okay, so today I will briefly show you what Siemens Energy is in a nutshell, what is the challenge that we face to build this chatbot, and then how we evolve it with the requirements, the visions that we have, and now how we create this architecture for a scalable chatbot, and then I will do the demo of our use case for you. So what is Siemens Energy? So Siemens Energy today is the global leader in the energy business. So we are present in more than 90 countries in the whole world. Actually, these numbers is also outdated. We have more than 100,000 employees in the whole world. And actually, 1/6 of the whole energy in the world passed by Siemens Energy products. So, and four of our main strategic drivers is demand growth, decarbonization, decentralization, and digitalization. So we are investing a lot on how we can use the best the technology has to offer to really make data-driven decisions so we can deliver a better product for our customers. So how do we do that inside Siemens Energy? We develop a 6-step approach on how to become a network of smart factories. So because we all know that today AI is really available for everyone, but nothing is possible if we don't have data and if we don't have quality of this data. So the first step to do that is to capture data digitally. This means take the human factor out of the equation as soon as possible. So to connect our machines to the cloud and to also connect our processes combined. And the second step, I really start building and connecting these different data sources because I don't want to create isolated solutions of digitalization. I don't want to have a super digital engineering department if this engineering department is not connected with my shop floor workers. So this is where we start to create strategies to streamline our data within our organization. Having this, we can go to step 3, that we start to turn all of this data into actual informations. So with dashboards and interfaces, so we can have a digital twin of our factory. We can have also paperless factories, plant simulation, so on. With this, we can go to step 4 and start to catch cause and effect of what is happening in our organization. Then we can go and predict the future, and finalizing with cell optimization, that we have a strong usage for artificial intelligence. So, but to make this happen, so we have 3 main pillars. So that is data, strong process, and of course, people. So people is the main driver for us in digitalization because they are the ones that make this possible. They are the ones that drive this solution for us. So we really work on this. And as a foundation to make all of this happen, we have a strong infrastructure that we call Analytic Process Automation, or APA. That is, we use Snowflake, UiPath, Alteryx, Tableau, Mendix, and Power Automate. So how does this APA community works? So basically, we have 3 main topics. That is enablement. So we have a strong citizen developer learning path for everyone in our organization who is eager to learn more about data and digitalization. We also have an ecosystem available, so a full community for our workers to engage and to also have a ready ecosystem, a ready infrastructure for them to use. And with this, we have this Center of Excellence for Citizen Developers. Because you don't need to be a developer, you don't need to be a data scientist inside Siemens Energy to make a difference and to work with data. So in Siemens Energy, everyone can start working and developing with all of these tools that we have available. And with this, we have a lot of different benefits for our organization and for our customers, because we really foster this energy transition by having higher internal automation and also overachieving our insights and different future skill sets. So with this, that's a little bit about Siemens Energy. So what is the challenge that we are trying to solve? So Siemens Energy, as you can imagine, generating, transmission, and storing energy, like large amount of energy, we have really big products and highly customized. So Siemens Energy, we have our own technology for our products, and all this information is saved in hundreds and thousands of files everywhere. So every product we manufacture is unique. So every transformer we sell to our customer is unique. Every steam turbine, every electric turbine is unique for the customer specification. So all of this technology is stored, and let's say it was lost somewhere in the cloud. So every time a worker needs to find information on how to proceed, they need to search on these documents. So we had a big problem and struggle to find these instructions. So with this, it leads to inefficiency, and we also depend a lot on the experience of our workers. So just to give you an example, in our factory, the factory that I work right now, actually we are building a new factory, but the factory that I worked before, a good winder, the ones that do the winding for us, it takes 4 years to train a good winder. So 4 years for them to study a manufacturing process, because this information is not just there for them. You really need to study deep Siemens Energy technology. So with this, I had this idea of, why don't we have a chatbot to spread this information easily for our blue-collar workers? And then Jonas and Tim helped me with this solution. So Jonas, if you can help me how we create this.
Yes, thank you, Anna. So I will now go over our chatbot evolution. And this story is all about how we came really from a project kickoff where Anna was, or it was basically before already when we were asked, okay, we have a problem, how can we do a solution? Then we worked on the project scope and the development, so what we wanted to achieve and how we want to achieve. And then already last year, we went to the summit with our proof of concept and presented, and we won there on the Snowflake Summit 2024, the AI Innovator Award, which was also kind of like a RAG chatbot in Snowflake. So we were also one of the first using those Cortex AI functionalities last year. And then we came with that RAG solution, we came to Anna and decided, okay, let's do a development phase 2 and kind of like come from the POC to a scalable product where we not have only a proof of concept, but a scalable product. And how did we do that? So it was really like gathering the requirements from the businesses like Anna to embrace really a vision to come to a scalable product. How did we do that? So we gathered first the requirements, and the first requirement was to access the chatbot from different endpoints. Firstly, we developed that chatbot in a Streamlit application, but Streamlit in Snowflake is really capsuled in that system. And for us as Siemens Energy, or for the end users, especially those blue-collar workers, it's really hard to log into the Snowflake environment, select the role, then navigate to the Streamlit chatbot to be able to ask a question. And what we saw with the users is that you need the lowest simplicity so that people are really using your chatbots. If that's anywhere hosted in a system where people are not using that, the whole chatbot idea doesn't make any sense because people are just basically not using that. So we said we need one single endpoint to trigger from different kind of system to be able to embrace users to use that. Then we also talked about the improvement of user creation and onboarding. As I said, for us in Siemens Energy, it's a bit hard to create users because there's just a forms and the central team is creating those users. So from us in the business, it's really hard to create users and onboard them. It was also hard for us to process the documents because we have different languages, and it's also that we lose something in the translations because when Cortex Search was not available last year, there was, and also not multi-model models, it was really hard to also process different kind of languages because we are working mostly globally, and so we lost some things in the way of the translations. And what we also lost is the direct visualization of the source documents, because initially we did the visualization of the documents inside a SharePoint, because visualizations in Streamlit is really hard. So we did that in a SharePoint. So every time someone wanted to open a source document of the question or of the answer, then they needed to go to a SharePoint to open the documents. And it was kind of like the requirements that users mentioned to us. Out of that, what were the features coming out of that? So we wanted to embrace a single function for Cortex Search. We want to have automatic text retrieval via the parse document functionality. We wanted to have a Mendix front end for improved user access and the multi-language vectorization. And that coming then to the last point of the vision. So we want to create a scalable chatbot environment for a multi-usage purposes. From the idea to the product then, so really coming from people mentioning to us, yeah, we have ideas to a real scalable product. So firstly, what we did is we collecting ideas. So really it was me going to factories and talking to people, collecting ideas and use cases and discussing further if that would be a chatbot use case or not based on the documents or just on the requirements. Then we were going always in analysis phases, like I did with Anna, then checking is that a chatbot use case or not. Then we developed our first Cortex Search functionality last year in the summer. We developed that first Cortex Search feature when it was still in private preview. And we developed that and then stored it into a single sort procedure where we can access that then from different endpoints. Then we decided to go for also the parse documents, because in the past we were doing that with an Alteryx workflow, and the Alteryx workflow needed to execute manually, which was really hard for us because I was just executing that all the time manually, and we wanted to create an automatic pipeline for that. And then we built early this year, we developed then the Mendix frontend because we gathered more insights of, yeah, Streamlit is not usable for us, so we developed then the Mendix frontend. And then in the end, now I can say we do have a full-scale product because we saw already in different factories that it is scalable, that we can easily onboard new factories, new users into our existing ecosystem. Coming now to the ecosystem, so what is our scalable architecture for chatbots? I mean, it's a RAG chatbot. So what we do is we have our Snowflake environment. So we upload documents into a local stage. We parse those documents there with the parse document functionality and store those tags into a vector database, or a database, because they are just then vectorized, sorry. Then we built a Cortex Search update, which is working multilingually, where we store those vectors. This is running every day in the evening. It's running to update all of the newer texts, and they are then stored in this vector database. Then we implemented the Mendix features. So as soon as someone accesses the Mendix app and asks a question, this message is being pushed to the Snowflake environment. There we do have a single Cortex Q&A functionality, which is then doing the Cortex Search, and then putting those Cortex Search retrievals into a large language model and giving back then the function or the end results to Mendix, so that we have done our scalable architecture. What are the key features? So key features for us were the Cortex Search service, really being able to develop one single functionality which you can trigger for multiple endpoints with a daily update of these rows. And then also having the Cortex Search functionality also inside of that, so that we can run that on one single query. And the other part is the Mendix REST SQL connector. There is a standard functionality for Mendix systems that you can execute SQL statements inside or on a Snowflake system. So what the basic process is that we execute a SQL statement, as you can see on Mendix, which includes the message ID, user ID, factory ID, master prompt, question, and maybe a chat history if there is someone. So we're sending that over to our Cortex Search service. It's then processing that, what I showed in the architecture, and then sending that back to Mendix with the answer, and then providing that as an answer in Mendix in the front end. So how did we come to the scale? Because in the end, just having that technology there does not directly mean that you are already able to scale that solution. Because in the end, if you do have the technical part, but you do miss out on the users, on your communities, on the factories, on the worldwide setup of our factories, then you're not able to scale that. And that's why we build strong connections, like Anna already told, with the APA approach. So we are going to the factories, we are talking to users, we are talking to blue-collar workers, and really being able to connect there and connect users to each other. So really embracing there some connections and talks, So I was also there and having presentations about those topics to really get connections between those users. Coming from that, there are always challenges. So there will be always challenges when you go to the factories, because there are people just not, I mean, just not speaking really English, so you kind of like needed to talk to them or over a manager to talk to them. So there are always challenges while just trying to get that running, and you need to overcome those challenges because scaling a product is not easy, and you need to do continuous work and always go again there, talk to those people and convince them to use the product and support them as well. So support them on their journey to then be able to say, yeah, we are growing. And we have that we say, yeah, we are growing, we can have a growing environment. Now, coming a little bit step back, now what we are also doing besides of just the chatbots, so then we started also working on document AI solutions. So we have now also up and running 2 use cases for document AI with more than 5 other use cases under evaluation. We use Cortex LLMs, especially in our Alteryx environment. So we have built a Alteryx own macro where we can use the Cortex complete functionalities so that users are directly able to use Snowflake Cortex functionalities inside Alteryx. And that makes it even easier for just business users to use those functionalities. And we're trying to get the same for Mendix so that also Mendix users can, inside their Mendix environments, trigger Snowflake Cortex complete functionalities. And then last but not least, our factory data cloud. So we're designing currently a central data approach for a central data warehouse or data mesh for our 30 factories and trying there to prepare the data for analysis with Cortex ML functionalities. And those are then our big 3 topics what we are currently working on in our environments with the business users together. Coming to the benefits, I mean, people can tell you, yeah, people are using that, but if you look at the numbers, it's really hard to see that people are not using your chatbots. And therefore, 2 things stand out for us. So, I mean, we started last year after the summit, so in July 2024. And in January 25, what you see is there is a short low, because there was a time when we went live with our solution in Streamlit. And what we saw is that people told us, yeah, we're using that. Then we looked at the numbers, people were not using it. So we were again going to the factories and telling, okay, why are you not using our solutions? And they were like, Streamlit is not good, we are not using that, blue collar workers are not accessing that. Okay, so then we decided, okay, let's go for Mendix. And then I'm really proud to say, okay, this peaked then in April 2025. This was when we published the Mendix app. And that's really great to see that people are starting using it. So I can say that there's a high engagement rise to the Mendix implementation. There's continuous growth of users. And now we have also time saved, roughly 20 minutes per request we calculated. And there are over 30 use cases now being implemented. Then I think going back to the use case.
Yes. Okay. So now that we have the solution ready, what is the use case? How do we do? So like Jonas said, like the basic of our use case is shop floor workers using this. So Siemens, like we say, Mother Siemens is a really old company that has a lot of old behaviors, let's say. So our employees, they make the whole career inside Siemens Energy. So we have workers that has been with us more than 30 years, and they have been working the same way since they start. So we really need to change the way that they worked. So it was even, I'm not lying, but there were some local workers that was the first time that they used a computer with a mouse. So I'm from Brazil. This may look crazy, but that happened. I had to teach someone to use a mouse. So it may sound difficult, but so one thing that we also did about chatbot, instead of saying AI and chatbot, we created a branding for our AI. So we call her Tina. So Transformers Intelligence New Assistant, to create kind of a friendly face for our blue collar workers. So asking someone a question, because like everyone's like, I know my process. I know what I'm doing. Why should I ask someone else, right? So we really need to build the confidence on the shop floor, because they could trust us with this information. So because with this, we can increase productivity. They don't need to search information into thousands and thousands of documents, and we enhance quality, because Every time we have a failure in one of our factories, it's millions of dollars that we lose every time we have a failure. So it's really important that we have extremely high quality control. So our procedures needs to be followed precisely. And then with this, we can also scale knowledge because, like I told you, we are present in 90 countries. We have a lot of factories. How we can share this knowledge between my German factory, my Chinese factory, my Brazilian factory. So this chatbot really help us like to bring all this information together, how we can really transparent. And I will give you guys now a live demo. But before that, I can tell you about the first demo that we did. So the first demo that we did, it was online on Teams. We were so confident about the Tina that we literally asked the audience that they were, of course, they were people that knew our process, and they started shouting all the questions to us, and Tina knew all the answers. We were even surprised, so we were scared. Let's say, okay, it's the first demo. If it didn't work, like, it's fine. But we are really confident, and Tina is bringing a lot of help spreading this knowledge. So as I briefly told you guys, I'm part of the implementation team of a new factory we are building in Charlotte, United States. And as you can imagine, building a new factory from the ground is a lot of work. Like, you literally have to do everything. So once you have a factory running and just operating, it's a lot of work. But we need to create all of these procedures from zero. So Tina is helping my industrial engineers looking where this information is, because they need to create this own documentations for ourselves, because we have different machines, we have different products. So the usability of this chatbot, every day we think about something new we can do. So now I will show you live. Just here.
Yep, switch.
Okay, perfect. So we really needed an easy to use interface for our workers. We love Snowflake, that's why we are all here, but for normal users, it's quite hard to log in. We have this single on sign-on, so we really want a simple interface for our workers, so that's why we went for Mendix. So here, the worker just needs to ask a question. Actually, we can even do typos that the AI understands, so it's really good. So for example, what are the conditions? This is a German keyboard, conditions to open the oven. Okay. And then I ask. While Tina thinks.
Yeah, I mean, it's now executing the pattern I've just showed you. And what we now see, maybe Anna can explain.
Yes. So this is the Mendix interface. So since I search, it sends the query to Mendix, do the processes, and sending back the information to us on Mendix again. So Tina said that based on this knowledge, she gave me exactly the conditions that I need to extract this information, and also shows me the sources. So which documents and which exactly spot on the document this information is stored. So if I click here, it opens the document. It shows me exactly where they found this information and the document here for my worker to confirm. So because at the beginning, we really struggled like bringing the confidence that the information that Tina responded was correct. So we really encourage, you don't believe Tina, just go there, open the document and see by yourself that she is really bringing us the exactly information that we have. So it even collects information from multiple documents, not only one single document. So we can also see like different interpretations of this task. We can also ask follow-up questions. So for example, I ask about the conditions to open the oven. So is there a problem? Is there a problem? For example, if the vacuum, how do we write vacuum? Is more than 5.6, question mark. And then again, Tina is going to ask and connect with the Snowflake environment, do the query, and send back the information to us. Yep. So this takes a few
always
seconds.
Taking the chat history as an array with it. So the array is always with the chat history, always adapted to that, and then being sent back.
Yeah, so she answered that no, it's not a problem. And these are the conditions we need to open, and then shows us the sources. So another thing that is really critical for Tina is, like I said, we have many factories, right? So my workers in Brazil, they don't speak English. So Tina needs to learn Portuguese, English, Spanish, German, all of this. So, and the cool thing is, so for example, here I'm on the Charlotte, but if I train, for example, Jundiaí, there is the factory in Brazil that we use. So if I clear the chat, and I, as a Brazilian, I speak Portuguese. I don't know if you guys do, but for example, como eu monto uma bucha? How do I assemble a bushing? So if I ask Tina that, she will understand that I'm speaking Portuguese and give me the answer back. That's the thing about doing live, right? So she gave me an answer back in Portuguese about exactly step by step that my worker needs to follow to do this assembly. So since I know Portuguese, I can verify that this is correct. She's not speaking just crazy Portuguese. She's actually giving me a clear direction on how do I do that, and saying, be sure, double check. This is the documents that she used to confirm that. So that's Tina today. Let's go back. So thank you. Thank you. So with this, Tina is a scalable product now. We have many other ideas. So to wrap up, going back to the 6-step approach that I told you guys. Step 1, now I have my machines, my shop floor connected, right? I'm collecting all this information automatically. And now I'm creating on step 2, my factory cloud. All my data now is available for us in Snowflake. With this, I am in step 3. That is, I'm starting to use AI for these factory procedures, also for specification analysis from our customers, and also a highly global knowledge sharing. And with this, now, next steps, what we are looking at what Tina can do. In step 4, we want to use generative AI to create automatic reports for our machines, for our customers. This really helps us a lot. On step 5, we can have, of course, predictive maintenance. And then on step 6, we have our digital twin, so we can have a self-optimization. So Tina can give me real recommendations on how I can improve my workflow, how I can increase my productivity of my workers, and so on. So yeah, that's our strategy moving forward. Thank you.